Hi, it's Ann Katzeff of Ask Design. Today we're exploring the WordPress cover block, focusing on the Parallax Scroll. The cover block can be used in a variety of ways to create attractive image or color areas with text overlays. Last month we explored how to use it for hero images with calls to action. This month we'll have some fun animating section dividers with Parallax Scrolls. The parallax effect creates the illusion of movement. The technique separates the content into different layers, then applies different scrolling speeds to each layer. For example, a background image will remain static while the foreground text moves over it. Parallax scrolls create a sense of motion and depth, offering a more immersive user experience. We'll start by inserting a cover block. I'll use the keyboard shortcut of a / and typing the word cover. And then I'm given these three options. I could upload the image right here, go to the media library, or use a featured image. I like to upload my images before I do any of this stuff, so I'm going to the media library and I'm going to choose this image and click on the select button, and that's basically the default look and feel. I can write a title and I get a white font on top of a dark image, and I think it would be reversed with a dark or black font on a lighter image. Now, instead of an image, you could choose a background color. Let's go and / cover, get those options again. These dots of color could be selected instead, and then you could put any kind of content on top of that color. So let's go with this color, write title. I've got the same thing down here with the background color. Now let's return to the default settings of a cover block with an image and make a few style changes. I'm going to select the cover block, and I'm looking at it in the list view as well. I'm opening that up so I can keep track of things. I want to go to my toolbar under Align. It's defaulting to none, but let's make it full width, and then there's this nifty icon here for full height. And there we go with that style change. You are not limited to a paragraph within a cover block. You can use any kind of content. So I've changed this cover block text to an H4, and then I've changed the font to Lato, increased the size to extra large, and then with the text, I pretty much left it alone, but I changed the line height a little bit to squeeze things up. Now we are ready to apply the parallax effect. I will select that cover block again, and then look in the right sidebar, the settings sidebar under settings, make that into a fixed background. Its default is to not be a fixed background, so we'll change it to be a fixed background. And here's my H4, here's my paragraph, and that should scroll. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to add a second image. So we've got this cover block selected. I'm looking at things in my list view here. And I can do this in a variety of ways. Let me add after and get that cover block. Go to my media library, select my second image, and now I want to move that cover block inside the original cover block. Okay. I will apply the same settings with full width, full height. And now let's go over to the settings sidebar. Let's see, the opacity will be 0 so we can see it fully. Now a little bit of moving the text into that second cover block. So we've got that. Now let's see what it looks like. Pretty good. I'll get rid of this one, the default one. And let's save that and see how it looks. I am looking at things on the front end. Here's the cover block with the image full width, full height. The full height, by the way, is the visual height of the browser, not the full height of the image itself. That's working perfectly fine. But when we introduce the second image, that text is not very readable. So we'll go back to adjusting things. I'm back on the page. I want to fix the readability here. I'm going to select that cover block and change its position to be the upper corner and go to the style area. I want to add a little bit of padding, maybe top and bottom. Let's see if that helps. Let's save that and go to the front. Refresh our screen. Yeah, that helps a lot. Terrific. I am going to continue to switch around and change things up. What if we had the background scrolling rather than the foreground? So let's select that cover block and in the settings, deselect the fixed background status. Select the second cover block, which is the flower on top right here. Nothing's scrolling yet, but we will fix that. So now the background is scrolling, and we need to figure out this readability issue a little bit more. I'm going to group that and then apply a color to the background. And maybe change the text a little bit too. Well, it doesn't work that way, so I'll have to individually change each of the blocks of content. Now, going back to the group, we need to add some padding. And let's save it and look at it at the front. Here we are at the front. All the content, the text content is in a block of color now, and it's moving along with the background, and that other flower is static, staying still. Everything else is moving. The next thing I'd like to show you is we could just have that background color instead of a background image. I'm going to select that cover block, change the overlay to this nifty one, and the opacity goes all the way up to 100%. So you have a completely full color background instead of an image. We'll look at everything on the front end one last time. We've got the two images. The text in a box is scrolling with the background image, and in the next sample, we took away that background image and made it just a flat and beautiful turquoise color. These are just a few of the many ways you could have fun with the cover block and the Parallax Scroll. Feel free to leave comments and suggestions about ways that you've used the cover block for scrolling and animating your content. And I hope this tutorial has been useful to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'd be happy to help you out. Thanks. Take care.